thanks everybody for coming, and thanks for having me. I'm going to talk about MCP actually. So when they invited me to come and speak, I was like, listen, I've kind of pivoted from UI stuff over to this MCP thing, and they're like, that's fine. Can you like work React Router in there somehow? And yeah, actually I can, and things have changed a lot. So we'll talk about that, but I'd first like to invite everybody to stand up, please. Gotta get our bodies moving. You're gonna put your arms out in front of you like this. You're gonna squat down. Try not to touch the person in front of you. Come back up. This is called an air squat. It's an exercise. We're gonna do 12 of these together. That was a practice run. That doesn't count. Okay, and you're gonna count out loud with me. Ready? 1, 2, yeah, 3, and you can really go down. 4, 5, or you can, it's a choose your own adventure, just like a little one. 7, 8, doesn't that feel good? 9, 10, we're so close. 11, and 12. All right, stretch over your head as high as you can, and even higher than that. Learn something from that. Okay, great, you can sit down. Thank you. Okay, that feels good. We need blood flow for our brains to work, and we need our brains to work today. So if you're feeling a little bit sluggish later, just start doing air squats, and we'll all know what you're doing. So it's fine. A couple of years, or just like last year, Ryan and I went to React Conf together. But this is an old picture. Oh, gross. There we go. That's the Ryan that we all know. And we drove together. Ryan gave me a ride in his Rivian, and we had a great time. We talked about a lot of things. And one of the things that we talked about was, of course, React and what the future of Remix is going to be. Yeah, we had a meal. I forgot about that photo. But another thing that happened at ReactConf that had a big impact on me was Evan Bacon's demo. I don't know if you remember seeing this, but he was demonstrating how to use React Server components with React Native. It was mind-blowing, and like that is cool, but what was really cool for me was the demo that he showed. And he was like, look, asking questions to AI is cool, and it responding with text, that's neat. But the better user experience is to actually respond with native components. And so that was his demo. And this just got me thinking, and this is one of the things that Ryan and I spent a lot of time talking about on our drive, and even thereafter, was what is the future of user interaction? How does this change the way that users interact with the software that we create? And I think that a lot of that future involves AI, of course, but not just in the text way that we've kind of gotten used to, but in a much more interactive way. And fast forward several months, I'm running Epic WebConf, and I'm just thinking about web and React and React Router, because Remix is sleeping. And Ryan is going to come and talk. But this wasn't the Let Me Be talk that he gave the year before. This was, actually, I forgot what your talk was going to be, because he was sick and he couldn't come to the event. So I go to his house with all of his swag, and I'm like, hey, sorry you were sick. Here's all the swag we were going to give you for not giving a talk. But we sat and we chatted for a bit, and I just finished Epic WebConf. I'm thinking about what am I going to do next. And Ryan starts talking again with me about this idea that we talked about, like what is the future of user interaction? How is AI changing that? And so much of it basically boiled down to Jarvis. You know Jarvis? Anybody here? Yeah, okay. So for those who don't know, Jarvis is just a rather very intelligent system. It's what we call a backronym. But Jarvis is basically an AI assistant for Iron Man in the Marvel universe. And Jarvis does everything for Tony Stark. It's an amazing experience for Tony. And Ryan and I were talking about, like, we have the technology to do that now. And I went home after that experience, and I just couldn't stop thinking about it. And that's when I think actually Ryan put me onto the idea of MCP. I can't remember if I discovered it later. I think he told me, you got to check out MCP. And like that weekend, totally pivoted. Everything for me before was React and Remix and React Router. And I was like, this is it. We have it. We can do this now. We can make this completely huge leap into this new way that users interact with our services and our software. And so I pivoted to epicai.pro because the .dev was taken. I offered money for that domain, and they didn't even respond. So we're pro now. Every time I say that, I think I'm saying the word pronoun. No, we're pro now. So in the last several months since March, I had this idea that we are getting to this point where these AI agents will enable us to build a Jarvis. But something happened that I kind of expected back then. I decided, you know what, I don't want to build Jarvis myself. I think what makes more sense is for one of the big labs to build Jarvis, and I give Jarvis hands. And so this happened on Monday and totally threw off the preparation that I had made for my talk. So I'm going to show you this video really quick. Yeah, you don't have to clap for that. I didn't make that. So why am I showing you an ad for ChatGPT? Because that's effectively what's happening is we are entering this new phase. For the last 2 years, everybody's been saying, you got to add a chatbot to your app. How many of you have added a chatbot in some form to your app? Yeah, we're all doing something similar to that. That's not what we're going to be doing. We're done doing that. It was fun, but what's even better is add your app to the chatbot. The users don't want to have to go to every single app and use your chatbot. Your chatbot doesn't know them. It doesn't know their preferences. It doesn't know the context that they're trying to accomplish one task that requires 3 or 4 services. They don't want to have to pull that context out from one, put it into the next chatbot, pull that out. They want one chatbot that can do all of the things for them. And so we're gonna experience a pretty significant shift in the way that all of this works. And here's the cool thing, is I showed you a ChatGPT the ad or whatever, but it's not just ChatGPT. This was actually, when I started going this direction in March, there was really strong chance that this wasn't going to happen. But for some reason, OpenAI has decided to build on a standard. OpenAI has 800 million users, and they own 79% of the market. So they can do whatever they want, and they decided to build on a standard. And that is huge for us, because it means that we're not investing into this new platform that is the new app store of OpenAI, but instead we can build the web. And if you're here, you love the web as much as I do, and being able to build to a standard and have all of these agents understand it, that's really powerful. I keep on being surprised by how awesome OpenAI is. Not to disparage OpenAI, I guess, but they keep doing the right thing, and it's awesome in this regard. So we're going through a paradigm shift now. And it's pretty significant. We're used to browsers and websites. We're moving to Jarvis and MCP services. Now, this actually is pretty, as far as building it is concerned, it's pretty similar to what we are used to already. It's still, as far as what I'm going to show you, it's still HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. It's just the delivery mechanism has changed because the agent is the one that's talking to your service. Their people are talking to your people. And that is like, I don't know about you all, but it's a way better user experience for me to go and ask ChatGPT how to do a thing than to go to Google and search and then like filter through 6 articles of AI slop, which you can always tell. They say the same thing over and over again. It's so bad. It's so bad. So I just go to ChatGPT, I cut out the middleman. But it's just such a better experience. And being able to have that agent actually do things in the real world, that's cool. And taking it further than just like, oh, here's Expedia and Booking.com and Zillow and Spotify. Yeah, of course the big players are going to have a special integration for themselves. But no, because this is built on a standard protocol, then all of us can play in this game. And it's just like with websites. When you deploy a new website, you don't need to go to Apple and Google and Mozilla and say, hey, I deployed a new website. Could you add an integration in your browser for my website? The web would never have taken off like it did. And I'm thrilled it didn't go the direction of app stores and all of that. That's a whole nother discussion. But because it's built on an open standard, you can just build your MCP server and it can become available in whatever client your user decides that they want to use. That's a really powerful thing, and that's what enables this paradigm shift. And so I'm thrilled that OpenAI, the biggest player in the space, has decided that they're going to invest heavily in an open standard. And it's fabulous. So I have a demo that I'm excited to share with you and also very nervous. I have a video as a backup, but I learned from Mark Zuckerberg that you should just try. So we'll see if this works. So I've got an MCP server installed. It is the Epic Me MCP server. I've got it deployed over on Cloudflare. Fabulous place for this stuff. They're not sponsoring me. I don't know why I said that. I said it because it's true. That's why I said it. But it's a journaling MCP server. The only way to access this journaling app is through the MCP server. So I've got this connected. I've already authenticated and everything. So we're going to just try this. And right now, the ChatGPT experience is very safe in that like you have to enable developer mode, and they're going to prompt you with every little thing that you're doing. We have low trust right now. Eventually, it'll get better. But here I'm going to add Epic Me. That's another thing. Like right now, you have to specifically add this. That won't be the case in the future. In talking with members of the OpenAI team, you'll literally just be able to say, do this thing. And you don't even have to have it pre-configured or installed. They'll just, oh, would you like to use this? It'll be awesome. So here we go. We're going to try this. Could you please write a journal entry about what Remix 3 is going to be? I'm hoping that it just knows. Like maybe it's been paying attention to Ryan's conversations or something. Just make it up if you don't know. If you don't know. Okay. So here, this is the experience that users want. This is the declarative experience. I wondered if it would use Epic Me to actually save it. So we'll have it save it here. Why don't you save that for me? So users want to declaratively talk to your applications. And then sometimes the best response is text. Like in this case, yeah, this is like a pretty reasonable, wow, geez, what did you ditch the remix config? Yeah, maybe? In favor of a remix toml? Please, no. Oh gosh, okay. Yeah, we're gonna just have it save that in our journal here. So sometimes the response being text makes a lot of sense, but not always. And so here it's calling the tool to save that in the database. I can come back later and ask it questions about my journal entries. I'm really looking forward to when I can just talk to my phone, like I'm on a drive and I'm like, you know what, I had a really awesome experience. Let me just tell it and it can save that in my journal. I don't write in my journal very much, but maybe I would. So we're going to confirm that, and now it's going to save that journal entry into our journal eventually. I expect this also to get a lot faster in the future. Okay, great. So now I'm going to say, could you show that to me, please? It blocked the request? I hope not. It looked like it was okay. Oh, you're right. 403. Yikes. Blocked on safety. Oh, gosh. Yeah, boo. All right. Let me show you what it was supposed to do. Okay, so here I said, now show it to me. And it pulls up some UI. Yay! Yeah, thank you. So this is powered by React Router. This is like regular, it's all React. I know it's irrelevant after this afternoon, but for now, this is how you build this. And of course, this is all vibe coded as well, because who writes React these days? Yeah, here, and now I can actually, in the UI, I can interact with the UI, and that feeds back into the conversation. And so there's bidirectional communication across this UI. Now, Michael was talking about iframes earlier. Yeah, man, iframes rock. And this is, yeah, absolutely an iframe for security reasons and all of that. So I don't have a ton more time, but I do have a little bit more time. So I'm actually going to pull up some of the code for this to show you kind of what it feels like. And I've totally forgot to fix my editor settings. Here we go. That should be a little bit better. Okay, so this is that route. Sorry, like this microphone makes it hard for me to see this screen. Nope, it's going to be in my way no matter where I put this thing. So yeah, we've got our client loader right here. It is an iframe, and it's expecting its data from the parent frame. That's how like the ChatGPT, or like I said, this isn't just a ChatGPT thing. This could be Claude or whatever. They're going to pass this in through the iframe, and so I'm going to expect to get the entry from the parent frame. And then I've got this hydrate fallback to wait for the entry and stuff. Here's my entry viewer, and like this is all very standard stuff going on here. The specifics here for waiting for the render data, this is all, lots of this is going to change. It's all built on top of, right here, it looks like I'm using an OpenAI proprietary thing, because I am. But they are actively working with the MCP UI folks, I'll talk about that here in a second, to make it a standard thing. So it won't be an OpenAI specific thing. They care about this being a standard as well that's not ChatGPT specific. And so we're just waiting for that tool output to be defined on there. In the future, this will all be abstracted into nice little libraries for you, and it is going to look like, yeah, just something like this, just waiting for the render data. I expect it to look like this because I want it to be type safe, and if it doesn't match this, then something's wrong. And so, like, you know, boundaries, right? You want to protect those boundaries. So that's the UI side of this. And then we've got the server side of this. I create these widgets that follow a specific structure that has been established by OpenAI. And there's actually, like I said earlier, there's MCP UI, which also is a extension to the MCP spec, which has utilities that will interop between what this is and whatever the future is going to be for this as well. Yeah, this create widget allows me to create both a tool and a resource that OpenAI is going to use to generate that UI. So they get your HTML, and then they spit in whatever you return from this structured content. And so here I'm going to go say, hey, I need the user, I need their entry, send that entry in, and that's how it goes from my server to the agent, from the agent to the iframe. That's how all that is put together. I expect lots of this to change in the future, but the basic idea will probably remain the same. and it's pretty neat. So if you want to, like that is open source. You can ask me later. Just look at what was Kent committing at 2 a.m. The night before a remix jam. You'll find it on GitHub. So just a couple last things I want to mention. So Ido and Liad created MCP UI and worked like their rear ends off to add a compatibility layer between what already exists as this official extension to MCP and what OpenAI released just on Monday. So yeah, huge shout out. Actually, I want you all to clap for them. Back in April, when I first got into MCP, this was one of the first things that I was like, we need to have some UI. And so I posted to the Model Context Protocol discussions, and I said, hey, how are we going to do UI in this thing? And Liad and Ido just jumped on it and built MCP UI, and it's fabulous. It's really, really cool. Yeah, that's like, the future is going to be awesome, where you don't have to just be a big player, but like it's just like the web. If you want to have some sort of representation in this ecosystem, you don't have to ask anybody's permission, except for maybe like somebody to get a nice URL like domain, right? So like we do still have gatekeepers, I guess, but unless you want an IP address, yeah, you could do that. Talk to your ISP, yeah, gatekeepers. But having it be just anybody, like your municipality, your city, can have an MCP server, and you can just talk to your agent and say, I'm scheduling a birthday party for my son. I need a pavilion at a park. And like OpenAI is not going to build that integration, but your city will, because it's an open standard. And they can give you a nice map and it'll look amazing. So I'm excited about having a robot that connects everything. We get rid of the integration glue that we've had to do all this time. I've got a bunch of resources for you on Epic AI. I've been working on this for a long time, so if any of those blog post titles interest you, go take a look at that. The spec for MCP is also really straightforward and everything as well, so feel free to read through that. I also want to announce Alam Tuzlek is like creator of React Router DevTools. It was Remix DevTools. And he is going to be teaching all about React Router on Epic Web. And he actually just released yesterday a workshop that you can come attend, and it's going to be great. I've moved all my stuff over to Epic AI. Well, not moved it, like Epic React is still there, Epic Web is still there. It's all still great. But I've focused everything on Epic AI Pro, so go take a look at that. I've got 4 workshops on there already that you're going to love. So with that, I just want to get off this stage and let Ryan and Michael come and talk to us about the future. So thank you all.